I know that you, your mama, your mama's mama, and your daddy who's balding is wanting to know how I got my hair this long. I've been planning to film this video forever because it's one of my most asked questions. Number one, first thing that people ask me, oh my goodness, Maddie, how did you get your hair that long? What products do you use? Blah, 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 blah. Here I am, finally spilling my guts, spilling all of my secrets. There's a lot of secrets underneath this hair. So let's get into it. I'm first gonna start off with products that I've used and how I use them. Let's just get into it. Shampoo, okay? Shampoo is simply up to you. Like, it's what feels great on your hair and what gets all the gunk out of your hair, but this is what has worked with me. Okay, so starting up, my favorite just daily shampoo is the Day shampoo. I also just sometimes use the Mika one. This one's just for funsies. It doesn't really do anything for me, but I like the smell. The Day one, I like the smell. I like how it feels. It doesn't strip my hair completely, but it also leaves it just that like perfect amount. Whenever I'm really wanting a nice strip of my hair, like say I've gone a couple of days way too over wash day, I use a clarifying shampoo. This is game changing, guys. This helps get all of the gunk and the nastiness off your scalp. Because whenever you get into that shower, it's not just a little scrub and then you're done. No, you sit there. I go in there and I sit and I scrub everywhere for 2 to 3 minutes, okay? Maybe even more than that. I don't know. I don't really time myself, but we need to get the gunk off of our scalp because nastiness can build up in there and then it can smell, okay? So something that also helps with that is Head and Shoulders. It's for just kind of like dandruff, kind of re-moisturizing your scalp. So whenever I feel like my scalp is really dry, I find this especially after I like travel or after I do one of these type of showers with my clarifying shampoo. The next shower I like to go in with a dandruff more moisturizing shampoo. Anyways, I always used Kirsten S in college. They're humongous size shampoo and conditioner in college. My mom would buy these, and you know what? My hair wasn't necessarily suffering with this, so I would say it's a pretty good go-to. I believe it's a little bit cheaper than Day and probably a lot more accessible. I know Ulta for sure has this. I know Day sometimes is not in Sephora. So I'd say Kirsten S is definitely a easier go-to grab, more accessible shampoo. So moving on to hair conditioners. I'm kind of particular with my conditioners because my hair is definitely more of the wavy, curly type, and it is a lot thicker. So I use a lot of conditioner, especially for how long my hair is. The ends are so far away from the oils on my scalp that I need to always keep them moisturized. So I use the Day conditioner. It literally is what works best with my hair. Like the Kirsten S conditioner is probably a lot lighter, which is better for lighter hair types. So there's also that option, but for my hair type and my thicker hair, I love the Day conditioner. And then if my phone would stop tilting to the side, excuse me. Let's move on. Whenever I need an extra little bit of moisture, I go for the Mika The Cure Intense Bond Repair Mask. I use her every now and again. This is not all the time. This is not every single day. This is just whenever I need that extra little lift. in my hair in the shower, I make sure right after I shampoo, let it out, I rinse all of the water out of my hair, get it almost like damp type of texture, not soaking wet, and then I apply the conditioner, let it set for at least 5 minutes in your hair. Do not just put it in and then a minute or second later rinse it out. It's meant to just sit and just condition and coat your hair, okay? So, promise me you'll do that. You'll, you know, put some body wash on, you'll shave, you'll wash your face, and then at the very end, you'll rinse out your conditioner, just so it gets an extra little bit of love, okay? Promise your big sis Maddie, please. Anyways, continuing on for out of the shower. Okay, wait, now this one is still kind of pre-shower, what I use. It's, I don't know how to pronounce it, the yall rosemary mint scalp and hair strengthening oil. I know y'all know what this is. Everybody's seen it. If you do not know what this is, you should go and get it. This is just a hair treatment oil for your scalp. I use this, or for other people's hair types, it's all over. I also use it all over, especially in the winters for my ends, just to give them that extra little bit of moisture. I put just a couple of drops, go down my scalp, down here, down the side. I have like a little bit of like, I guess you'd say like my scalp goes further back right there. So sometimes I put it right there and right there. Just anywhere that feels dry, I go in, I scrub my head, scrub, and then I put it, the leftovers on the ends of my hair, and then I let it sit for 20 to 30 minutes. The longer, the better, I feel like. But I will say that you can go overboard with this and you can make your hair really oily. So what I love to do after I do that really intense oil, I like to go in with my clarifying shampoo just to make sure that I get all the oil out and it's rinsed real good. Because there was this one time horror story where I need to go somewhere. I did a hair oil treatment day and I couldn't get the oil out of my hair, so my hair looked greasy. But of course, we just did a little slick back moment and everything was fine. But just try your best to avoid it, okay? Okay. Anyways, so out of shower. Every single time this is completely empty by the way, but every single time I do my hair, I use the Kirsten S Blow Dry Mist. So this is basically a heat protectant mist that I sometimes either just spray on my hand and then apply all over, or just spray all over my hair directly like that. She works really well for me. I'm not too particular whenever it comes to heat protectant, but that's just what has worked for me. I don't know, I'm just sharing. But this is what has been passed down from my mother, from my sister, and to me for what we have all used for our hair is the Chi Silk Infusion Oil. This I use after I get out of the shower and I'm about to style my hair. I put it in, it's kind of like a second heat protectant, but it's like extra smoothing. So I put it on my ends. I do not put it on my scalp or anywhere near my scalp. I stop basically about here and I put it all over this area, and it just helps make your hair slick and sleek and smooth, especially whenever I'm straightening my hair, because my hair is, like I said, more wavy naturally, so it wants to frizz up and kink up, but this definitely helps keep it smooth. And whenever I just brush my hair out on days that I don't do anything with my hair, I just pop a little bit of this in, and it gives a nice little tame to my hair and smoothness to my hair. And then going on to hairspray. I always use Paul Michelle. This is just what my mother uses. I also use Big Sexy Hair. Like, of course, like it's It's good. Or Tresemme as well. Those are my 3 big hairspray products that I always use. This one, I have it in Soft Style Super Clean Light. Sometimes I like to go for the more firming hairsprays, especially for my bangs. My bangs, I use Tresemme Firm Hold Spray. That's what I use for my bangs. But for all over my hair, since it typically holds style well, I definitely go for the more softer style hairsprays. Moving on to a more wavy hair talk type of situation. This is what I use whenever I want to wear my hair curly or wavy, as you could say. I get out of the shower, brush through my hair, and then I start scrunching, okay? I scrunch, and then I take my Curl Talk, Not Your Mother's Curl Talk cream, put it in my hands, and then I, with a flat hand, spread it all over evenly with my curls, and then I continue scrunching again. That just is how I can apply it best to my curly hair. I don't really care how you apply it, but I was just giving a nice little demonstration. And then I spray in my Not Your Mother's Beach Babe Sea Salt Spray. I don't know if this is good for your hair. A lot of this, a lot of the products that I use, I don't necessarily check to see if the ingredients are good. I just check and see if it works for my hair. So this works, and it definitely gives my hair a lot more volume and body. So I put this in, spray it all over, and then I continue scrunching. And once I feel like I have a good amount of scrunch going on throughout my hair, I put the Eco Style olive oil gel, styling gel throughout my hair, put it on, and then I scrunch up. Typically I go from the bottom up. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's what works for me and for my hair, is I go from the bottom up and crunch, crunch, crunch all the way around until I feel like everything has been sealed into place. And then I go in with my diffuser, or I just let my curls air dry. Anyways, back to lifestyle. So for my hair, how many times I wash it, all of that jazz. Do I have a set schedule? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not perfect. I just kind of wash my hair whenever I feel like it is greasy and it is nasty and it needs to be done. I do not walk around with a greasy head, guys. I do not. I go maybe every other day with washing my hair. I could go 2 days, 3 days. No hair wash is kind of my max. That's just what is good with my hair. That's what works for it. So I definitely feel like, I don't know, 2 to 3 days is max for me to wash my hair. So definitely every other day washing it. And then I do not blow dry it or style it or anything after. I typically wash my hair at night, and then I go to bed with it wet. A lot of people say that that is super bad for you, and that you're supposed to blow dry it out and everything before you go to bed. This is what has just always worked for my hair. I just like to go to bed and let it, because it takes forever to dry, let it dry overnight. It also just helps cut down on the heat that I put on my hair. I would definitely say that's another lifestyle thing, is try your best to have hairstyles and certain ways that you can, I don't know, deal with your hair without having to put heat on it. So one of the biggest things that I have loved seeing is the heatless curls. My hair is too long to necessarily attempt to do that, and it's too thick to do that. But I think that's a great alternative to a curling iron. For me, because my hair is wavy, most of the time I just let it be natural and let it be wavy. If I want to give it a little bit extra body, then I put my hair in a braid and then let it sit for a little bit. And once I take it out, it's all wavy and it's all beautiful and natural. So that's kind of a way that I can kind of cut down on heat with my hair. I also love whenever I blow dry my hair. I like to blow dry it straight, really good with a paddle brush. That way I don't have to go back in necessarily every single time with the straightener. It just straightens it super well off the get-go. So I love doing that because then after I straighten my hair for one day, it's usually pretty good for the next 2 to 3 days or until wash day. So then once I put heat on my hair once, I don't have to keep doing it in comparison to curling my hair. Although my hair does hold curl very well, I would definitely say that I would have to go back and curl and restyle probably every single day after I curl it. So my haircut routine. So I cut it twice a year. Literally, that's how long I go in between cuts. And every single time I do cut my hair, it airs more on the side of a trim, getting about 3 inches max taken off of it, off of the bottom. Of course, I get layers like framing pieces and stuff down the front, but haircut wise, I only go like twice a year whenever I remember to, which right now, low-key, I really need one. I mean, this is probably the longest my hair has ever been, simply because I haven't cut it. And I've just been taking really great care of my ends. And so she just hasn't needed to be chopped off yet. The more you go letting your hair grow out as much as possible and then just trimming up the ends, the little dead pieces along the way, it helps progress your hair growing for much longer of a time. I trim my bangs myself. I just kind of like maintenance keep up with them. And so I have to trim my bangs maybe every like week, max 2 weeks, because there was a time in the very beginning where I did not know that I had to trim my bangs and that needed to happen on a more frequent occurrence than me cutting my normal hair. And so it was just like in my eyes, it looked awful. Nobody told me until my mama was like, Maddie, you need to take care of that. And I just picked up some scissors and was like, you know what, we're doing this, because I was still in college and I didn't have time to come back home to get it professionally done. So I just kind of on the whim learned how to do that. I wouldn't recommend it because this is a pretty big part of my face is right there. So wouldn't recommend, but it's just what has worked for me. At the very end of the video, I'm going to break the news to you that a lot of this is my luck with genetics. So my mom has very, very thick, beautiful hair. It is a little bit shorter. She has never necessarily liked it super long, but it's a little bit shorter, but it's still super thick. My Nana also has really thick, beautiful hair. Her hair is in a bob, but it's super thick, and she has bangs as well, and they're thick across her face. My aunt has very beautiful, thick hair as well. It's all kind of at the same length as my mother's, like not too long, like kind of here and up. And then my sister, she literally gets her hair done. She literally bleaches her hair blonde. She's naturally kind of my color. And with all of the bleach and all of, you know, the dyeing and everything, she still has very thick, long, beautiful hair. So I would definitely say that it is genetics. So if you want your kids to have it, just have your sons marry me. I'm just kidding. But it's definitely on genetics, and I'm very thankful, very blessed. But I just thought that I would share a few ways and things that have worked for me, so that hopefully maybe whenever you try it, you can have some luck and also grow out your hair. Thank y'all so much for watching. Please like and comment your favorite product that you use, what has worked for you. Please subscribe, it'll help me grow my channel. And I just cannot wait to continue posting and sharing videos, but I just thought that this was such a fun video to kind of put up as some of my like first impressions on YouTube. So hopefully y'all liked it, hopefully y'all enjoyed. Bye.